Hi students, this is Mrs. Myers with a lesson on volume. We've already learned how to find the volume of a rectangular prism that we have here, and you should have in your notes. And that is that we find the area of the base, which is length times width, and then we multiply that times the height right here. And so we learned and we practiced how to find and apply volume of a rectangular prism. So volume we defined is the amount of space a 3D figure occupies. Okay, now that we've learned about rectangular prisms, we're going to apply this logic to cylinders. So we have a cylinder over here, and you'll notice instead of rectangles for our bases, we have circles. So the circle on the top is going to be congruent to the circle here on the bottom. So this is going to be our base. So the main difference between the two shapes is that where a rectangular prism has a rectangle for a base, a cylinder has a circle for a base. So what we're going to do is we're going to take what we know about rectangular prisms and apply it to cylinders. So for a rectangular prism, we multiply length times width times height. For a cylinder, the formula is going to be a little different. So with the cylinder, we're going to find the area of the base as well, but we know that this base is a circle, and the area of a circle is found by pi r squared. So that is the area of a circle. But again, we don't just want the two-dimensional shape. We want to find out what it is three-dimensionally and its volume. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this base, the area of the base, pi r squared, and we're going to multiply it by the height. So our formula for the volume of a cylinder is simply pi r squared. That's the area of this base, and we're going to multiply it by the height, because then that will give us the three dimensions that we need. So let's review some terms. We have radius. So we need to recognize that radius is the distance that's halfway across the circle. So radius is equal to half of the diameter. So it's not all the way across, but it's halfway. So if we know the diameter, we can simply divide it by 2 to find the radius, because in the formula, we're going to use radius. Okay, now that we have a formula for finding the volume of a cylinder, let's apply it to the example at the bottom. So down here, we have our example. We're going to write our formula, which is volume equals, again, the area of that circle, pi r squared, and then we're going to multiply that by the height. So now all we need to do at this point is to plug those numbers in, substitute the numbers in from the picture that we have. So volume is equal to pi times, and our radius here is 8, squared times the height of the shape, which is 22. Now we can multiply all of those numbers together in our calculator. What we can also use is Desmos. So let's take a look at how we can do this with Desmos. So if I pull up my Desmos calculator, I can put in this formula, and I can use my pi key, pi r squared h. So as you can see, I've just put the formula in. And again, Desmos says, too many variables, I don't know what r or h are yet, so I can't define this. So I'm going to go to my next line, and I'm going to tell it that r is equal to 8, and And I'm also going to tell it that the height, h, is equal to 22. And when I do that, I get my answer, which is right here. Let's go back to the Desmos. I didn't quite grab it all. So our answer is going to not be just 44, but our answer is going to be 4,423. We'll round it to the nearest tenth. So 4,423.4. 4,423.4. And our units are centimeters. And since this is volume again, we have 3 different dimensions that we're multiplying. So this is going to be cubic units. So our volume on the line, 4,423 and 4/10 centimeters cubed. Again, for solving these types of problems, when you're finding the volume of a cylinder, we have the first part of the formula, pi r squared, which is going to be the area of the base, and we multiply that by the height, because we have layers of bases. You can think of it that way. And then that's the formula that we have. We plug in the numbers. We plug in our radius, which is halfway across the circle, and we plug in our height. We use Desmos or another calculator to complete it, and that's how we came up with our answer for volume of a cylinder. And that's our lesson on volume of cylinders.